All right, students, we left off on question number 24 and 25. Determine whether the given description is an observational study or an experiment. Remember, observational study is something that you observe, whereas an experiment, think of science class with your hypothesis, your experiment, your results. So think of more like a science experiment versus just an observation. A study in which subjects are treated with a new drug. You're giving them a drug and then you're observing their results, but you are treating them with a drug. You are giving them, you're not just only observing them, you're treating them with a new drug. So this is an experiment because you want to see how that new drug reacts. 72% of Americans squeeze their toothpaste tube from the top. Those results are based on 7,000 responses from the 25,000 questionnaires that were mailed. So you're just seeing whether or not where a person squeezes their toothpaste tube. You're not experimenting with anything. So this is an observational study. Random, stratified, systematic, cluster, or convenience. All right, let's review those. Hold on one second, please. Let me get organized. Here we go. So we have random, we have stratified, we have cluster, we have systematic, and we have convenience. I'm going to jump around. Convenience, easy. It's convenient. It's easy just to interview your family members, your friends, the people in front of you. So a convenient sample are the people easiest to interview, the people that are close to you. Systematic, this is when you put everybody in a long line or all your products in a big long line and you're going to pick every kth element. So every third person step forward, every fifth person step forward. This is every, you're going to check things coming off an assembly line, but you can't check everything. So you're going to check every 100th item coming off the assembly line. So this is when you're going to, this was the grocery store problem. Every 7th person walking into a grocery store. That is systematic. All right, stratified and clustered are the two hardest because they have a two-step process. And the first step on both of them is the same. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your population and you're going to subdivide it. So you're going to subdivide the population. Subdivide population. The difference is after you subdivide them into groups, stratified, you choose some, whereas in cluster, you choose all. And remember, the hint I gave you was cluster all, like your cholesterol levels, cluster all. So cluster, you're going to choose all people from one of your subdivided groups, whereas stratified, you're only going to choose some from your subdivided groups. Random is usually like either a computer or a calculator. Computer or a calculator are the two most commonly used random. Calculator, you use something called a random number generator. Random number generator. All right, let's see if that helps. Here we go. I'm on number 26. Selecting every 5th name on a list, every kth term. This one would be systematic. A survey is conducted by telephoning 20 randomly selected subjects in each of the 50 United States. So what did you do? You took the entire United States, you subdivided it into the 50 states. So you took the whole United States, subdivided it into 50 states, and then you chose 20 subjects from each state. That's sum, so that is stratified. A complete list of all subjects is compiled and every 500th name is selected. Every 500th name, again, that is systematic. A computer file of all 637,133 IBM stockholders is compiled so that they are numbered consecutively, and then random numbers are generated by computer. This is random. And a researcher randomly selected 70 of the nation's middle schools and interviewed all of the teachers at each school. So what happened here? You took all middle schools in the United States, all of them. Then you subdivided it into 70 middle schools, and then you interviewed all the teachers at each of those schools. If you interview all, that's cluster, cluster all. So this is a cluster sample, and we are done with that page. Let's keep going. And we are now done with chapter 1. Now we're to chapter 2. So here in chapter 2 is when we needed to have our calculators. So if you don't have your calculator, you're going to want to hit pause on the video, and you're going to want to go get your calculator. So here we go. Construct a frequency distribution that has 4 classes. And the first thing I need to do is find the class width. The class width is the maximum number minus the minimum number divided by the number of classes. If you look in this list, the biggest number in this list looks like the 74. The smallest number looks like 67. And I want to divide it by the number of classes, and I want that to 4 classes. If I do, give me a second here. If I do 74 minus 67 divided by 4, I get 1.75, and then we learned this is the one and only time in statistics where you round up no matter what. So this is going to round up to 2, so my class width is 2. Then what we're going to do is we're going to make a frequency distribution, and we always started with the smallest number, and the smallest number was 67, and our class width is 2. Remember, width is found by going down. Width is found by going down. So we're going to go down by 2, which makes that a 69. We're going to go down by 2, which makes that a 71. And we're going to go down by 2, which makes that a 73. And then we put little dashes. If that's 67 and that's 69, this had to end at 68 so that my next number is 69. This had to end at 70, so my next number is 71. This had to end at 72, so my next number is 73. And then if you follow the pattern, 68, 70, 72, this has to be a 74. And now what we're going to do is we're going to sit there and we're going to count all the 67s and 68s in our list. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like I have 6 of these. All right, let's do the 69s and 70s. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got 10 of them. Now the 71s and 72s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It looks like I got 10 of those. And the 73s and 74s are the ones that are left over. Looks like I got 1, 2, 3, 4. And it looks like you have 4 of them. Remember, you could have also put this into your calculator. I think I'll probably do that in a later problem, and then you could sort it, and we could also do it that way. Don't forget, you can put these into a list, and then you could do a sort A of your list, put these in order, and that's another way you could do this problem. The lower class limits are the ones on the left. Lower means left. So this is 67, 69, 71, and 73. The upper class limits are the ones on the right, which is 68, 70, 72, and 74. midpoint. There was a formula for this. The midpoint is you add them up. So you add the lower plus the upper. So it's the lower plus the upper divided by 2. So if you do 67 plus 68 divided by 2, you get 67.5. If you do 69 plus 70 divided by 2, you get 69.5. If you do 71 plus 72 divided by 2, you get 71.5. And then the last one is 73 plus 74 divided by 2 is 73.5. And there are your midpoints. And now I need the boundaries. The boundaries are the numbers. The formula here was plus and minus 0.5. So you're going to add and subtract 0.5 to all these numbers. If I subtract 0.5 from here, I get 66.5, 67. So from this column, you're going to subtract 0.5. From this column, you're going to add 0.5. So if I subtract 0.5, I get 66.5. If I add 0.5, I get 68.5. If I subtract 0.5, 69 minus 0.5 is 68.5, but you already wrote it. So now you just need the 70.5. If you subtract, you get 70.5, but you already wrote it. So you just need 72.5. If you subtract 0.5, you get 72.5, but you already wrote it. So now it's 74.5. And there's your answer to that page. And I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to go ahead and load up the third video. So just give me 1 second, please.